Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rich Mind Podcast. Today, I've got something super exciting for you. I'm super excited about this episode. If you're looking for an investment that will potentially 10x, 100x, get you almost an unlimited return, today in this episode, I'm going to share with you what that investment is and how you can take advantage of it right away. So, if you're looking for some fantastic returns on an investment that you can take advantage of right away, this episode is going to be for you. So stay tuned. In order to live an extraordinary and abundant life, you must focus on your internal battle and win within. My name is Randy Wilson, and welcome to the Rich Mind Podcast. All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the Rich Mind Podcast. And today, as I mentioned there at the very beginning, we're going to talk about an investment that, in my opinion, is the best investment you can make. It's something that I've done for myself, and I've gotten huge returns from this investment. And no, it's not crypto. No, it's not real estate. No, it's not the stock market. It's none of those things. This is something that you can easily do. Now, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. You can decide how much capital, money you want to put into this investment. But I promise you that if you will dedicate some of your life to this, you can exponentially see some fantastic growth, just as I have in my own life. And that's what I would encourage you to do today. So that investment is investing in your own self-education, investing in yourself. There are skills, there are abilities, there's the personal development. There are so many things that is keeping and holding you back from this beautiful future that I know you see for yourself. You wouldn't be listening to me today if you didn't. The lack mindset, the lack of abundance, the lack of thinking, right? The lack of everything that you're seeing in your physical 3D world stems from a lack of self-education. And when I discovered that on my own more than 10 years ago for myself, it set me down a journey that has been fantastic. It's been challenging, but it's definitely been fantastic. So back in 2007, 2008, I was coming up against some major challenges in my life. The position that I had been working so long to get, I had, right? I had the right job, or I thought I did, right? The idea and the belief that I had been fed my entire life was that I needed to find a job, find a company where I could go in, do the best that I could, work hard, basically do what I was told, stay with them through retirement, and just sail off into the sunset, right? That's what I was fed, and that's what I was led to believe growing up. That was what my parents were modeling for me. My dad was trying to do the same thing. He didn't make it as far as that position or that company that he was with, which is actually the same company I was with at the time, turned their back on him and quickly eliminated his position when he was in a spot in his life where he did not have any backups because he hadn't done the work that I'm suggesting that you do today. So this is what I've done for myself. So I was in that same situation back in 2007, 2008, when I was in working for a local retail grocery chain. I had made it up to being a store manager and felt like I was on top of the world, right? I could basically call my own shots. I was in charge of the store inside and out. I could set my own schedule, was obviously responsible for the people inside of the building, but then also the products, the vendors, you name it. I was responsible for it. It was a huge challenge. It was a huge responsibility. To say that my stress level was under control would be a false statement. I was under stress seemingly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because the store was only closed on Christmas Day. And even on Christmas Day, I was still on call because of the refrigeration systems were always working. So I never really had a day off. And what my mindset was back then was that I just needed to keep going, stick with this company, prove to them that I was valuable to them. The grind, the 24/7, 365. I neglected my family, meaning I wasn't as present with them as I probably should have been. I wasn't as close to my children even growing up, even though I feel like I have a good relationship with them. I could have have done even better had I been in a better position mentally and emotionally, other than thinking that I just needed to go, do, and just trying to build somebody else's company that wasn't going to work out for me in the long run. So when they came to me and closed my store, it was such a huge eye-opening experience. They came to me out of the blue. I had no idea it was coming, and basically flipped my life upside down. I had no idea, I had no plan, I had no backup. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. I didn't necessarily get fired, but what they did was they eliminated my store. They closed my store and told me they were going to move me to a new location, which was okay. But at the same time, I had lost my drive to continue doing as well or doing what I was doing for that company. And I started to question. I started to question everything. In the last few episodes, you've probably heard me say that multiple times. I began to question why. Why was this happening? Why wasn't I in control? How come nobody told me about, these things and how they can happen? Financial education was something that was something I went down a rabbit trail, that's another piece of your self-education that I would encourage you to do. But I went down the instant trail of discovering the personal development space. And what that did for me is it gave me back control. It allowed me then to begin thinking for myself. I began to question the stories and the beliefs that had been fed to me my entire life. And it wasn't just from my parents, it was from basically our entire upbringing, right? I'm here in the Midwest, currently now in Indianapolis, Indiana, but I grew up in a small town just north of Indianapolis. And the Midwestern values, right? Working hard, grinding, pushing through, staying with the same company forever, not really changing. That was some of the stories that I'd been told, and I'd believed them all the way through up until this point in my life, until this moment where it abruptly changed. And what I did is I decided I was going to begin investing in myself. And that's what I want to encourage you to do today. So, what are some of the things that you can do right now to begin a large or a small investment in yourself to exponentially grow where you are? Let's assume that you're in a position, whether it's a job or some kind of a relationship, something that just is not working the way you want it to, and you're not exactly sure why or how. This investment in yourself is going to be the secret and the key that's going to help you bridge that gap from your current situation to where you can go in the future. And I would encourage you to do that. So the first place, and this is an obvious place, but this is exactly where I started. You can get this, and it's virtually free. It's only going to take you some time out of your day to go figure out where these places are. But the library, every town, every municipality, every city, every state, there's local public libraries, and they're free. As I mentioned, you don't have to do anything other than basically show up, give them some ID, and they will give you access to an abundant amount of information. Now, if you're not necessarily a reader, which I would put myself in that category, I'm not a fantastic reader. I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of reading, but I can listen to audios all day long. I love audio programs, and I can do that seemingly endlessly. Podcast, audiobooks. So one thing that I've discovered with the programs at my local library is that they have access to audiobooks. You can actually log into your public library's website. You can download different apps that will give you access to that public library's catalog, and there's actually audiobooks in there as well. So you can take those on the road with you, right? You can turn your car into a traveling library. It's going to be your education. That's exactly what I did. I used my commute back and forth to work, and I was learning all kinds of things, meaning marketing and copywriting and sales and building a business, learning how to be self-confident in myself, right? Working on me, investing the time and investing the resources that I had at the moment, which weren't very many. I didn't have much capital to invest, but I was beginning to invest back into myself and start taking back control. So that would be the first place. Find your local library. As crazy as that might sound, you'll be surprised where you're going to be able to pick up uh, one book, one audio program could absolutely change and revolutionize your life, which is exactly what happened to me. I stumbled across Robert Kiyosaki's Retire Rich, Retire Young book, and it completely changed my life. It led me to Lead the Field. Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field. That would be a program that if you don't have that yet, get that program. Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field. You can download it. You can purchase it and just have it on your phone. When I was first buying it, I was on CDs. I was playing in CDs in my car, if we can remember back when we had CDs. But that's a program that I would highly recommend that you get. Another program or another author, speaker that you definitely need to get into your library is Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn and his philosophies and his way of presenting and breaking things down in a very simple, easy to comprehend nuggets of wisdom is super impactful. So, the Challenge to Succeed was the audio program that I went and found. He has many, many others. You can find him on YouTube. So that's another resource where you can virtually get on for free and be learning, absorbing this information about changing you, changing who you are. And if you do that with that investment of time, it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but at first it can be a lot of investment in time. And if you do that, turn your car into a mobile classroom. I said mobile library earlier, but let's turn it into a mobile classroom and begin learning the skills, the ability to believe in yourself, to eliminate and reduce that lack mindset. That's going to be the secret to you moving forward. So then another free resource is our podcast. That was when podcasts really became popular 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe. That's where I really dove in. I mean, you can find topics of anything that you want, right? Whether maybe you want to become an investor in some real estate, or building a business, or the personal development space. And that's what I've done. I've in my library of podcasts, I have different topics that I'm searching for at that moment, right? I'm always trying to continuously grow and become more. And with that, my library of what I'm listening to changes regularly. And that will happen for you as well. So as you continue to grow, you're going to change who you're listening to. And as you do that, great things are going to happen. And that's also a great resource. Our podcast, you can get free content a lot of times from these creators. So podcasts are definitely great places to go to get information from folks that are on the same journey that you are, probably a little bit further, but they can definitely help you bridge that gap once again from where you are to where you want to go. So as you get out of or start gaining some confidence in yourself, you're going to want to start branching out and figuring out, where can I meet new people, right? You're going to want to start associating with other folks. And that's exactly what I started to do. When I started to learn about different investment vehicles and start learning about personal development, I wanted to start getting into rooms of people or with people that are similarly like-minded, that I knew would help me exponentially grow even that much faster. So that would be my next phase for you. So at the very beginning, you're going to start your self-education piece with just doing some learning, whether it's reading, whether it's listening to things, really doing some learning, trying to figure out and challenge those beliefs, challenge those ideas that you've been fed. That's the beginning phase. And then as you begin through that phase, you're going to start wanting to get out and meeting new people. You can do that through conferences. You can join masterminds. There are probably local meetups in your area. You're going to need to get out and meet new people, which I know can be a little nerve-wracking. It was for me. I remember the first big conference that I attended. It was a conference of probably 200 or 300 people, and it was just very nerve-wracking. Meaning, it was knowing that I was going to have to communicate and talk to and express. You're going to get that question. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Those questions, right? And at first, when I wasn't 100% as confident in myself then as I am now, I struggled with that, but I pushed through. I would encourage you to do that today as well. Find the conferences, find the people that are what you want to learn about, right? As you start down this personal development journey, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a lot about the things that you want to go create and bring to the world. and find those communities, find those groups of people, and attend those conferences, meet those people. That is where another nugget comes from, meaning as far as the people. I can't express to you how important and how valuable the relationships that I've built because I've attended these conferences, right? Because I've had dinner and had drinks and just spent hours just talking to these individuals, learning from them, offering some advice if they needed it from something that I was learning. Being a giver in those environments can exponentially grow your ability, once again, to bridge that gap from where you are to where you want to go. So getting yourself in the room and learning from folks, but then also then also showing up to give, not necessarily always showing up to take. Try to show up just in a ton of gratitude, feeling that there's a ton of abundance. You're there to participate. You're there to meet folks, right? Talk to people, ask questions. One thing that I've done for myself that's really been good for me is that when I join into a conversation with whether it's one person or even a group of people, I've gotten into a habit of asking a lot of questions versus being the one just talking randomly, right? Just the one sharing all about myself, at least at the very beginning of the conversation. Start with asking a lot of questions. Pay attention, be attentive, really start and engage with individuals. And when you do that, the conversation, number one, is going to come across very genuine. It's going to be a lot easier for you because then when the questions then get reflected back onto you, they're going to be intrigued and they're going to be engaging into your responses. And that's where you can really have a great potential relationship that who knows where that's going to be. So focus on getting yourself in the rooms moving forward here in 2024 and beyond. So today, the biggest investment you can make and the best investment you can absolutely make is an investment in yourself. You need to spend the time. If you don't have a lot of resources, I get that. When I started, I didn't have a lot of resources either. Start accumulating books, start accumulating different audio programs. There's different ways to accumulate knowledge. There's a ton of knowledge and wisdom out there in the world, and you need to begin searching for that knowledge and wisdom based on your level, right? You might be at the very beginning of this journey, or you might be a little bit experienced, right? And every point in between, and all of that is great. The point is that you need to continue on this journey. I don't think it's ever going to end, and that's really exciting for me. I know that I'm always just one book, one audio program, one thought, one idea, one podcast, one introduction away from a life that at this point I really can't even imagine. And that, as you continue down this journey, is what makes life super exciting. So once again, focus on finding and investing in yourself. And if you do that, I promise you, you're going to see 10x, 100x, multiple 100x returns on that investment. So folks, hope you found this message valuable today. Go out there, focus on being great, and just really dig deep and discover who you truly are. And you can do that through self-education. So have a fantastic day, and I look forward to bringing back the next episode to you again very soon. Until then, bye now. Thank you for joining me on the Rich Mind Podcast. And remember, your external world is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So focus every day on that internal battle and win within. Until next time, my friends.